Hey, everybody, I'm Balance, and today I'm going to show you all of the best builds that you can use in Garfield Kart Furious Racing. Garfield Kart Furious Racing is a kart racer similar to Mario Kart, and offers a fresh and oftentimes much cheaper alternative to the kart racer published by Nintendo. Garfield Kart Furious Racing offers 8 playable characters, each with their own kart, spoilers, and hats that can be switched and swapped at your leisure, allowing you to customize the overall stats of your vehicle to adapt to different tracks. There are 3 stats in Garfield Kart that affect how your kart performs during gameplay: top speed, acceleration, and handling. Characters, karts, and spoilers will affect the stats of your kart, and the type of hat that you wear will generally affect the random items that you pick up on the ground. There is a hidden mechanic in Garfield Kart though, as each kart, spoiler, and hat also has a character that they belong to. You can see this by the small character on the garage screen, and each of the items have a color corresponding to a certain character. Garfield is orange, so by using an orange kart, spoiler, and hat, you'll create what's called a perfect combination. This buffs most, if not all, of your kart stats pretty dramatically, meaning it's a no-brainer choice to try and make perfect combos regardless of what character you choose. What this means in practice is that each character already has a predetermined kart and spoiler, and can only choose between 2 headgears that are assigned to them. Garfield with a perfect setup has nearly a perfect handling stat and decent top speed, but struggles with acceleration. So mistakes can be a bit punishing, but they're much harder to make since my boy can turn on a dime. As for headgears, Garfield has the choice of either the space bubble, which is preferable for front running, or the Betty Bye cap, which is better from coming up from behind. The space bubble protects Garfield from aliens, which is an item that basically flies in from behind and basically functions to slow down the first place player. You basically get a 1 in 3 chance of escaping them, but even if this fails, Garfield does not get grabbed for very long and is back in the race relatively quickly. Alternatively, the Betty Bye cap buffs the sleep pillow item, which will cause every racer that isn't you to fall asleep for a short time. The Betty Bye cap just makes this status longer, giving Garfield more time to get caught up, or more lenient timings on screwing over people right before they do a jump. Target pillowing, if you will. John, on the other hand, is in much less control of his life, and focuses on speeding through his problems. John is one of the 3 characters in the game that hits maximum top speed, with major sacrifices to his handling and acceleration. While these stats might seem desirable at first, the issue is that John is a little too fast for 150cc, meaning that he'll need to slow down a lot, which causes him to lean on his very middling acceleration stat. As for hats, John choices are the Pizziolo hat and the Wizzy Wizard. The pizza hat allows John to get 2 extra pies when he gets a pie power-up. This applies to straight firing pies and homing pies as well, which gives him a pretty menacing offensive presence. It also helps that pies are a very common item in the lead, so you'll never really be short on ammo. The Wizzy Wizard, on the other hand, gives you an extra use of the Magic Wand item, which essentially trades places with another racer if you hit them with it. This item is pretty difficult to use, but you can quickly jump up several places if you're good with it. Liz is another character that can reach top speed, but has even less acceleration than John, but in exchange has a little bit more handling instead. Liz's headgears are the Bunny Band, which gives more uses of the spring item, which allows you to bounce away from incoming pies, which is going to be your biggest problem when front running, especially if there is a John behind you. This item makes Liz more of a defense-focused character, but it's a bit hard to use since you can't always use a spring without careening off the side of the track and losing all of your items. The other option for Liz is the Tic-Took, which buffs the diamond item and makes them explode much faster. This is a bit of a hard sell since leaving diamonds can make traps for players behind you. They can then pick these diamonds up and they explode shortly after. So having less time on these on the floor is arguably a bad thing for Liz. And in comes Odie. Odie's stats are kind of insane. With the perfect setup, Odie gets a very decent top speed, out of this world acceleration, and acceptable handling as well. To make matters worse, Odie also gets arguably the best hat in the game. The Joe Montagna boosts the duration of lasagna boosts for you, and is a massive advantage for Odie, since any lasagna boosts that he gets are almost 50% better for him. And while not having a direct offensive or defensive presence, his very good acceleration ensures that even if he takes a pie, he's very quickly back up to top speed. The same cannot be said about the Elasto Hat, Odie's other option. This gives springs a bonus in bounce height, which makes these already dangerous to use items even more so, without unlocking any new unique shortcuts for Odie as well. This really isn't a great hat, and you have the Joe Montagna sitting right there, so you might as well just use that. Arlene is another high acceleration character, but plays second fiddle to Odie, mostly due to a poorer excel and top speed, while also having much worse hats to choose from. The Aristocratic Bicorn increases the duration of Perfume, which is honestly a great effect. Perfume is invincibility in Garfield Kart, and the more time with it means more places gained from getting the item. Unfortunately, you almost never get this item at a top spot, so it makes it really hard to suggest. And the other hat Arlene can wear for a perfect combo is the Chef's Special, which boosts the speed at which pies you fire fly. This could be great for taking out some players off guard, but overall is a pretty weak effect. You might mess up your muscle memory with pie speed for other characters as well. Now, if acceleration was the only stat that mattered, Normal would be top tier for sure. And don't get me wrong, Normal is not bad, although they are mainly held back due to a very poor top speed, so Normal is really only necessary on the very difficult tracks. Basically, just Loopy Lagoon. The amount of acceleration over Odie isn't all that much, and while Normal can take turns very effortlessly, it's mainly because they ain't going all that fast. As for headgears, Normal can wear this hat, which prevents you from getting affected by time bombs. However, this will not prevent you from being hit by an explosion of an adjacent player's bomb, or if you throw your own bomb forward, for that matter, you can also still hit yourself. Blocking time bombs is a very decent ability, and this essentially makes you immune to 1/3 of backshots that you'll see from top players. The Cutie Pie Crown, on the other hand, simply buffs the speed in which UFOs reach the player in first place. This is alright, and might be the difference between UFOs before and after the finish line, but you're not getting this power-up unless you're already pretty far in the back anyway. Moving into Squeak, and we've got the best handling in the game, but Squeak pays for it dearly since he basically has no top speed. He'll have a hell of a time getting up with the faster carts, but he should have absolutely no trouble with literally any turns in the game. For headgear, Squeak gets the Apprentice Sorcerer, which boosts the speed at which magic wand beams travel. This can make it easier for both to land a hit and to snipe someone from really far ahead of you, and make the magic wand potentially a game-changing item. But you're really only going to be swapping with 7th place with that abysmal speed stat. The other option for Squeak is the Viking Helmet, which offers him more lasagna boosts when he gets a lasagna. This is a clear choice for Squeak, as the speed bonus from lasagna will be key to victory with such a slow character. And last but not least, we have Harry the Alley Cat. He's a speedster just like John and Liz, but trades some acceleration for handling instead. Larry is arguably the only character who has enough handling to control such a high speed stat, but his very bad acceleration will be his downfall, since every attack that you take or mistake that you make, Odie is catching up. Harry's first hat is the Mule Head, which lowers the amount of time that you sleep when a pillow item is used. This gives Harry a clear advantage over other racers when a pillow happens, and makes it much harder to get target pillowed. Now, finally for Harry, we have the Stinkorama, which gives him a speed boost with the perfume item. First of all, the perfume already makes you fast enough. Larry's speed is barely under control as it is, and as an item, you're really only going to be getting perfume in the bottom places, so it's really hard to suggest this one, but it might be able to make you get back up from the very end of the race, and you could just soar right into first place, hopefully, theoretically, if everything goes your way. But I think it's clear to see that out of all characters, Odie performs best in a race with other competitors. For time trials, it does get a little bit more track specific, as it generally does, and while there are characters with very comparable stats to Odie, like Arlene, the headgear puts him well above the curve, and he should be the expected winner of most courses, outside of a few in the Ice Cream Cup where handling is a little bit too important. In which case, Normal actually takes the top spot. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and a big thanks to my Patreon supporters who allow me to make videos like this without bogging them down with sponsorship deals and mid-roll ads. Like and comment if you want to help the channel out, or subscribe if you want to stick around, and I'll see you in the next video.